Good morning, this is Babachino Pennystocking 100 to 1000. Welcome back to the series where we take a fresh account on Webull starting with just $100 and show you the journey it takes to grow that $100 into $1,000 over time. And we're back. It is May 29th, 2019. This is week 5 of the series. The markets are red. They're still kind of undecided. We don't know what's going to happen with it, with this trade deal going on, this trade war. Markets are still pretty undecided, but more at the bearish turn. And where we left off last week, we were at $170 or so, give or take. And where we are today, if we can get a drum roll for that. Yeah, so this is where we at now, $99. We had a very poor trade we made last week, and we've been holding since then. We're just going to get into that where we were trading on. This was EMES. So this is our biggest loss yet, and I hate looking at this down here at the bottom. $72 lost. So EMES, this was a pump and dump. As you can see, we got in on Thursday, May 23rd. We got in close to the close at $3.45. We bought at 38 cents a share, and we didn't actually end up selling until Tuesday after the holiday. At the after hours at 5:39, we just went ahead and cut our losses at roughly 22 cents a share. So we lost almost half. We lost about 40% or more on that play. And let's get into the charting. And I don't even remember what the news was or why this was even up. So like plays like this that you can't even justify why you're even in it, you probably should not be in it. Something about the well, we know that there was getting a delisting notice. That's not why the stock rose. It was just a pump and dump, plain and simple. It was a pump and dump. I noticed it that Thursday. Even after I said I wasn't going to make any more day trades, I was done with the week. I didn't have any more day trades. The count was up 56%. I should have listened to myself and just not have traded, but I did anyway for some reason, and this is what cost me. Not following my rules, this is what it cost me. But I saw this strength and it ran up. This had these 4 good green ticks towards the close, and it had a high of roughly 47 cents. And so I decided, let me wait and see if it dips down a little bit. It dips down. I think I bought around here. Let me see. Around there on that tick where the low was 38.02. This is where I pretty much got in, right around here, the low of that tick. So we got in at 38 cents there. And then even after that, the next 15 minutes of the market, this was the next tick right here. It even got down to a low of 35 cents. And then it closed at 39. So it closed at 39 there, and then after hours, this is where it got very interesting. This chart is not actually showing you this. It's skipping right ahead into the next day, which was Friday. But after hours, it dropped down to around 22 cents. That was the low, 22 cents. And then it kind of settled in the mid-20s. Obviously, I didn't have any more day trades, so I wasn't going to be able to cut my losses there. All I could do was hold and hope. Terrible. This is exactly why I advocated to not make a day trade or not make an overnight play if you don't have any day trades available, because you cannot get out. Okay, so this thing had a massive crash down to the 20s, and I can't get out until the next day in the pre-market. So what's to stop this stock from dropping all the way back down to the teens, 18, 19, 16 area, right around here, just where it was before the pump? What's to stop it from going back down to those levels in the pre-market the next day? And I'm trapped and I have to hold it all the way back down to that point. So you just never know what's going to happen with these types of plays. And this is why I advocate, do not make an overnight play if you don't have any day trades to back you up just in case. But I didn't follow my rules, and I paid the price. And so it did that in the after hours, and then the next day it opened up pretty weak. Well, it opened up pretty strong, really. It opened up pretty strong. It got to, where is it here? on the 24th. Right. Well, it's not really showing you, but this was actually, if I can zoom in, maybe. Yeah, that's okay. So it got to 42 cents a share. And so I was up, roughly 8%, 9%, something like that. Normally, so you know me, I take those small wins, right? I was expecting maybe it could retest that 47 from the previous day, or at least maybe test like 45 or 46. We didn't actually get that. I don't know why I greeded out on this one so hard when I normally don't. And I normally take these really, really small gains and leave a lot of money on the table in the process. I don't know why I deviated from that normal strategy, but I did. And I paid for it dearly. And so that was our best chance of getting out of this stock, period. This was actually a saving grace. This doesn't always happen. It dips down to the 20s in the after hours the day before, and then the next day it jumps up, roughly 100% from those lows to 42. So you can get, even if you chased it the day before, you had a chance to get out roughly break even or with a small profit. This does not always happen. This was best case scenario, and I didn't take it for some reason. I knew that was the best chance I was going to get, but I didn't take it. I greeded out on it, and like I said, I paid for it. And then from that point on, it just dropped and dropped and dropped through the day. I got stubborn. I did not want to sell, especially as it started holding up support around the 27, 26 area. I didn't want to sell. Then it broke that support, came around here to about 26, did its thing with that area, and then it dropped down again here to about 24. And so it just pretty much kept downward trending, slowly downward trending, and I didn't take it as a sign of just, get out. And even after that, I held it through the weekend because I didn't want to take the loss on Friday. So I held that through the weekend, and then Monday was the holiday. It was Memorial Day, so we couldn't trade then. Tuesday, markets opened back up Tuesday on the 28th. It got to, and again, this chart won't show you the pre-market, but Tuesday, the pre-market, it got to 31 cents. And I was looking at it at the time. It wasn't that many shares being traded. It was just one FOMO buyer. One buyer with the fear of missing out. He maybe bought 2 or 3,000 shares at around 30, 31. A couple buyers. So just FOMO buyers in the pre-market, around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Or was it 7 o'clock? Something like that, 7 o'clock. And I didn't take advantage of that. I should have took advantage of that, and I would have just took a small losses of about 20%, 18, 20% loss if I just went ahead and cut my losses there. That was the high of the pre-market. At 31 was the high, and then it opened up today around 9, and then this was the high for the intraday, which was just under 30 cents, so 29 cents, and it's been having this same pattern. You can see it here, just slowly downward trending. It has a push up in the morning from where it was, has a push up in the morning, drops, push up in the morning, drops, and that's what it's been doing. And I said I'm out now. I don't want to stay in and wait for another push up and then drop, because the next time it drops is going to be like 15 cents. So I don't have time for that. It's not worth my time. It's not what I practice. It's not what I teach. It's not what I do. So we went ahead and cut that loss today. And even now in the after hours, it's trading at 20 cents. On the level 2, there's just no bids at all. There's just pretty much no bids. And a ton of sellers. So I fairly do expect this to drop to the low teens or the mid teens rather today or tomorrow in the stock market on the open. I do expect it. So I'm just glad to be out of it. I'm just so happy to actually be out. A lot of people will not be happy to see their account go from, $170 to $99 overnight pretty much. But I am excited because, I'm finally out of this very, very poor trade that I should never have taken in the first place. And if you haven't noticed, if you've actually been keeping up with the series, and this is getting pretty long, actually, I'm going to have to wrap this up pretty soon. But if you've been keeping up with the series, let me go back and show you the losses. So if you've been keeping up the series, you know that I've had all these good trades up here, taking wins as they come. just about nailing it. And then you have these 3 trades that I should not have even been in on at the bottom. These very, very big losses at the bottom. These 3 big losses. All of these losses have happened because I went against my rules. Okay? Every last one of these trades here was not a day trade at the bottom. Every last one of these was not a day trade. They were holds 2 or 3 days, or 1 day or 2 days. HLTH held that for a day. OSMT held that for about 2 days. EMES held that for about 3 days. So it's just when you deviate from your plan, this is what happens to your account. So the strategy that I use does work very well, but only if you follow that. When you do all of this nonsense down here at the bottom, this is what happens to your account. It gets eaten up in the process. So we just have to get back to what we've been doing, what we've been teaching, what we've been preaching and striving to do to get these green returns time and time again. So we just have to get back to that. I was tempted to get in on SOLY, and I might get in on it tomorrow in the pre-market, on Wednesday in the pre-market, and see what I can do for a day trade. Depends on how strong it is. Right now, it's been very, very strong. I was looking at this towards the close where it was at $14 or so. It ran up from 5 to 15, basically 15 in the first day. So, and even in the after hours, it went up to about $22. And then it's right now it's back at the 19. But it's just very, very strong right now. This could potentially become the next, BPTH. Like it could go to 40, 50. Who knows? We'll see what happens on Wednesday. This will be a great chance. If it does, that'll be a great way to get my account back to where it should be, But again, knowing me, I need to follow my rules. So even if it does go to like $50, I'm probably going to be out maybe at 25, 30, 35, something like that. I'm going to be taking my profits as they come, or I'm going to be scaling out, But we will see what happens. I didn't want to buy at the top. I looked at it through the after hours. This would have been a good play to. I actually have day trades right now. This would have been a good day to get in towards the close at 14 into that strength, and then ride it up into the after hours where it got to 22 and make a quick 30-40% gain on it. But of course I didn't do that because I was a little bit hesitant because it was already up nearly 150%. So I was a little hesitant on that one, even through that strength. So I didn't get in on that. But we will see what happens on Wednesday. And again, I'm so sorry that I keep delaying the series by making these amateur mistakes that just should not be happening. But we will get back in there. The account will rise back nearly to $200 again as it was before in no time. We will get there in no time. And then from that point, $1,000 is in the next goal. And so we will see you in the next episode of Pennystocking 100 to 1,000. And we just encourage you to stay motivated, stay inspired, study hard, and follow your rules. And penny stocks will reward you. Thank you.